What's going on, everybody? Welcome to, I guess you could say, an emergency show here on the Ring the Bell Phillies show here. I'm Christy Francesco, and I apologize for not coming on last night. If people don't understand, even the Phillies don't seem to understand this, but we're 2 days out of Christmas, so it's been kind of hectic on my end of things. I was not able to hop on last night to do a quick emergency type podcast here, but I am here right now. Big news happened yesterday morning. The Phillies made a trade with the Miami Marlins, and the whole time when we just did that last show, when it came to Max Kepler being that outfield signing, myself, Jason, and Dean thought, well, that might be it. If they do something else, then my assumption would be they're going to find a pitcher that can, on that back end as a fifth starter, someone who can, like a Spencer Turnbull type player, can log some innings as a starter, but if needed as a bullpen arm, he can do that and transfer over to that end as well for the Phillies to be like that utility pitcher type guy, fifth starter, bullpen arm, Spencer Turnbull type guy. I did not expect them to go out and get, the second best pitcher for the Miami Marlins. Yesterday, the Phillies obviously needed to address the roster even more than what they've done already after signing Jordan Romano and Max Kepler. They went out and they acquired left-handed starting pitcher Jesus Luzardo on Sunday morning. From the Miami Marlins, the Phillies sent their number 4 prospect, Dominican shortstop Starlin Caba, an outfielder, Marion Boyd, a former 11th round pick who spent 2024 at High A. Obviously, just checking just to make sure I see, if I see Jeff Passan pop up on my phone, I think it's some kind of trade or signing. But obviously, Caba's blocked by Trey Turner, so that just makes sense. And Marion Boyd, again, just another low end prospect. This has the utmost potential to be a very much high impact addition for the Phillies. They needed a fifth starter, but clearly anyone obviously who pays attention, especially with Zardo coming from the NL East with Miami, he is much more than a fifth starter. He's closer to a number 2 type arm and type talent when he's totally healthy. He said last week that after missing the final 3.5 months of the season with an injury, that he is healthy. He's 27 years old. He comes in with 2 more years of club control and isn't eligible for free agency until after the 2026 season. So that right there, shoots this move all the way up to like a B+, A- type move, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of guys, really good talent being under club control, especially, you look at Alec Bohm. One of the main reasons why I don't want the Phillies to trade Alec Bohm is because he's a guy that is very effective. He's a right-handed bat, which is extremely needed in this lineup for the Phils. He's 28, and he's got 2 more years of club control this season and the following. Those are when you have a team with a $300 million payroll, guys like Luzardo and Bohm, club control guys are very important, especially ones that produce, are very important to have on this roster. And he immediately just boosts the Phillies rotation. And again, it's arguably the best starting rotation in Major League Baseball right now. He protects Ranger Suarez. If he departs in free agency after 2025 or is traded, obviously before that, or maybe by the July trade deadline, we do know Ranger last week hired Scott Boras. He's clearly, Boras knows the pricing and the prices and the massive contracts that are going out to starting pitching. So, it's a real possibility that after 2025, regardless, we're probably not going to see Ranger Suarez anymore as a Philly. So when you add Luzardo, to that mix. Man, 2 more years of club control. Luzardo maintains for the Phillies that strong rotation. And that should probably spark, some trade offers by the deadline for Ranger Suarez, because now the Phillies are probably a little bit less apprehensive about trading Ranger Suarez, because Luzardo is in my opinion, a significantly better pitcher than Ranger Suarez. I've never been on that really big Ranger train. I feel like what we saw at the second half of last season, he's a mix of that first and second half. I think that's where he is. He's somewhere in that middle. I think he's a high 4 ERA pitcher. He's a very movable guy. I actually feel like he's a significantly better talent out of the bullpen, but he's not going to do that. He's under Boris now, under that leadership. He's going to look for big money as a starter. So hopefully maybe he pumps out a huge season for the Phils, a much needed one in 2025 to go get paid. But again, this is Luzardo coming in as a lefty, so that automatically he replaces Ranger if he's gone or eventually obviously leaves. Luzardo's best season came 2 years ago, that 2023 season, which is his only full season of being 100% healthy. He went 10-10 with that 3.58 ERA, but he struck out 208 batters in 178 innings. He had Tommy John surgery back in 2016. He missed a little less than half the season in 2022 with that forearm issue, and then 2 weeks into 2024 with elbow tightness, and did not pitch after June 16th because of that lumbar stress reaction. Luzardo did tell reporters last week that he is healthy and throwing, according to NBC Sports Philadelphia. He said what he told MLB.com. He's been able to go through his normal offseason progression, throwing, running, starting to get off the mound, feeling really good with his elbow back, the whole body, and just really gearing up for spring training, and definitely eyeing down that opening day to be 100% ready to go. That would be absolutely spectacular. When you look at what he did in 2023, because that's pretty much the real good sample size that we can go off of right now, he was growing into that 1-2 type of starting pitcher. In 50 starts from 22 through 23, he pitched to a 3.48 ERA and a 1.15 WHIP with 328 strikeouts in 279 innings. That's a dude that can just flat out, throw strikes and get swings and misses, which is a big thing, especially from that left side. It would be great. The Phillies lineup, and I knew this because the second we traded for Luzardo, I knew for a fact, I love this dude. I hated him because before, obviously now, because he just destroyed the Phillies. And that's how I felt with that for a little bit. In 23, he did, but the last 5 times he's faced the Phillies in the regular season, 11 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, 9, 8, 5. Just the dude can just strike people out. That's a 2.97 ERA with 42 strikeouts in 30 innings in his last 5 starts against the Philadelphia Phillies. So look, when you got Zach Wheeler, who's arguably the best pitcher in the world, then you have Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez, who I was pinning as the second best pitcher on that staff. Now you got Luzardo, and you still have Ranger as of right now. It's incredible. So that's good stuff. There's not a lot of wear and tear on Luzardo. He just has to stay healthy. That's it. No really big arm issues. He projects to earn $6 million through arbitration this year. That number would probably bump up to $11 million next season. Given the prices of starting pitching in free agency, that value is incredible, especially if he pitches the way he did in 2023, if not better. 2 years of Luzardo might end up costing the Phillies only $17 million, whereas, 2 years of a lesser pitcher with less upside, like a Frankie Montes and a Matthew Boyd, they cost the Mets, 34 and 29 million respectively. So look, every dollar matters for this Phillies team, as Dombrowski's already talked about. Um, and moving forward, he even said right after the Max Kepler signing in that media scrum, he did say, we're probably not gonna be a part of any big free agents in terms of signing big money there because they're already at that fourth luxury tax level, which is crazy. But right now, every player that they would sign in free agency would cost double. So, like I said, they signed Max Kepler to a 1-year deal for $10 million. Technically, that's going to cost the Phillies nearly $20 million because of the luxury tax penalties. But, you make a trade and you get a guy like a Luzardo, he's going to be due $17 million total over the next 2 seasons. Are you kidding me? It's an absolute steal of a trade. And I've criticized Dave Dombrowski because he has yet to make up until this one, has yet to make a significant trade that really helps this team. This one is huge. It has potential to be really, really big. It's just it would be great. I'm really looking forward to this. This addition does push the Phillies payroll to approximately 305 million. This has passed the fourth and highest threshold, which carries the harshest penalties. The Phils are already paying 92 and a half additional cents on every dollar spent past the third limit of 281 million, which is why the 1-year $10 million deal for Kepler costs double that. The luxury penalty costs above the luxury tax penalty above the $301 million threshold is 110 cents on every dollar of overages. So even a $5 million player right now costs the Phillies $10.5 million. So that's why the Phillies are just being careful. They're not going to spend like the Mets. They're not going to spend like the Dodgers. After this season, guys like JT and Kyle Schwarber, I believe, are guys that are going to be coming off the books. They're most likely not going to sign a Ranger Suarez, so that's monies they're not going to have to worry about. They're loaded up again for 2025, but it's just a matter of getting things done. I think the bulk of their offseason is now complete. They've added incredible starting pitching and depth with Luzardo. They've replaced one of their two late relievers they've lost to free agency with the Romano signing, and they brought in another outfielder that can possibly take over every single day in left field in Max Kepler. So, there's obviously risk, somewhat calculated from Dave Dombrowski here, but the reward for all three of them can be astronomical. So the Phillies knew they had to be creative with where their payroll was at, and they've done that with Kepler, Romano, and now Luzardo. So, golf clap to Dombrowski and the Phillies brass for figuring out creative ways to really improve this roster. So I'm really happy with it. Hey, look, if you guys are watching this on YouTube right now, just like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications when we're going to go live. I'm not going to tell you this is the last show of the year because who the heck knows? I'm going to be leaving, heading over out to the Midwest in a few days. But, technology. So if anything happens, I can always hop on and do something. But I'm assuming until the end of the year, I guess nothing's going to happen with the Phillies. I say that and then something good happens. So maybe saying it now, something else will happen. But nonetheless, again, if you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications. Liking these videos is a big deal. So if you guys can keep just liking, I don't care. Honestly, being frank, I don't care if you subscribe or not. But if you like the video, it's a big deal. It really helps us out with the algorithms for sports shows, especially, Philadelphia ones on YouTube. So ring that bell as always, for notifications when I'm going to be back on again. But until then, great job, Dave Dombrowski and the Phillies, for Jesus Luzardo. I'm really looking forward now to getting to February and getting to spring training. It's just going to be awesome. I just cannot wait for this. Just stay healthy. Stay healthy. All right. So I'm Chris C. Francesco. I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful Christmas holiday and a huge Happy New Year. Be safe. Enjoy, and God bless you guys. I love you all. Thank you so very much. Take care. Bye-bye.